Good morning, Dr. Marcelle. I will be talking about the topic that I'm going to conduct my research. The topic is the effect of using direct written cognitive feedback to elementary students' writing performance of AED5009 University in Ho Chi Minh campus. Yet, being teaching in my college in 2 years, I figured out that there are some fundamental obstacles that my students still facing. So here are some issues. First of all, students' writing skill is really difficult because they are lack of vocabulary and grammatical structure. And also, generally, Vietnamese education has been affected by Confucian heritage culture, which means that students are passive in learning language. And additionally, learners are not autonomous in learning language. For instance, students just focus on the lesson at school only. For the extra documentary that teacher provide them to do at home, they rarely do or prepare it at home. That makes the teaching become difficulty. And next, in terms of teacher, finding the appropriate teaching method for our approach to teach writing, we are still have a controversy among the appropriate way of teaching writing. And some teachers believe that teaching writing needs to give indirect written quality feedback than direct written for university level. That's why I will be conducting the research in direct written quality feedback with the having both students and teachers benefit from the research. Here's my research question. How does direct written quality feedback affect learners' writing performance for the beginners level at AED5009 University? Okay, next slide, I'm going to talk about the literature review. So according to Savastani and Bishkar conducted research in 2015 about the effect of written quality feedback on writing accuracy of intermediate learners. The researchers aim at finding out the benefits of both direct written quality feedback and indirect written quality feedback. The findings show that direct written quality feedback is more advantageous than indirect written quality feedback. It enhances the writing performance of learners. Another research of Faroukhi conducted in 2012 about the effect of direct written quality feedback on improvement of grammatical accuracy of high proficient second language learners. The finding also show that direct written quality feedback enhance the accuracy performance of students. However, Just Scott did a research in 1996, and he claimed that direct written quality feedback, in fact, is harmful and ineffective for learners. And additionally, my teachers teaching in my campus believe that indirect written quality feedback is more beneficial than direct written quality feedback for those studying in university level. And another research I'm interested in is Pham conducted in 2017 about the international Vietnamese teachers with a social constructivism-based privacy science curriculum in a framework project for Confucian heritage culture. Okay, so the research is trying to answer the following questions. How do Vietnamese teachers interact with a primary science curriculum that is based on a social constructivist perspective and made appropriate for Confucian heritage culture? Now, the findings show that using social constructivism in a curriculum can help teachers become more open, being friendly, and the class fun to student-centered. And the interactions among learners and the interaction among teacher and learners become enhanced, and the science lessons and class become more interesting and involving students' performance than the conventional class before. In terms of view, I believe in social constructivism as you know this is a learner-centered classroom, and normally curriculum use task-based curriculum, which help teachers flexibly choose the method of teaching. This is the belief of Scott, Milk, et al. And in 2006. Next, I'm going to talk about the research setting and cultural aspects in my campus, in my classroom. So the research I'm going to conduct is including the 18 participants and age from 18 to 25 years old. They are freshmen at low level of English proficiency. The survey conducted in FPT in one class in FPT with the university. We currently use the material is top-notch series of PhD published. The for the professor we use top-notch number 1. And the learner settings. So our classroom includes students from both rural areas and urban areas. So for those living in rural areas, they used to familiar with the conventional methods that the teachers in high school use, such as grammar translation or audiolingual. Whereas in those living in urban areas, they are very more familiar with the contemporary teaching approach in the city, like normally teacher in high school use communication with teaching, or some programs used based on computer. According to Jory, she believes that which multicultural classrooms like this, teachers should be careful about the methods of teaching or the ways of evaluation, or choose the appropriate way to interact amongst between teacher and students in order to avoid miscommunication or misinterpretation. For the aforementioned points, the teachers should find out the appropriate approach to have cover the knowledge gaps among these learners. In terms of our institutional setting, so our curriculum is based on social constructivism belief, which means that teacher can choose the ways of teaching according to the level of classroom, and teachers can provide multiple activities or the ways of approaches that help learners improve in learning. Next slide, I'm going to talk about the methodology, data collection, and data analysis. Crosswell 2012 claimed that actually research applied when teachers find out problems and solving. This had in hand the practice of education. And I'm going to talk about the procedure I'm going to conduct in a research. First of all, I will ask learners to do a pretest in the first session. And next, I'm going to explain the use of direct written qualitative tests and some focus areas of article like A, N, and D. The teachers correction after each paragraph writing and ask students to rewrite it in class or at home. And teacher also provides the questionnaire to learners to consider the attitude toward direct written qualitative feedback. And the observation of the teacher with a diary also using for conduct of research. And the post test applied at the end of the research in the 4 weeks. The instruments used here is the pretest and post-test scores, and the questionnaire conducted with a 5-point Likert scale. Also, teacher observation with a diary note, and the interview with students also used in the research. Okay, I'm going to talk about the data analysis. So for the 4 instruments, like beyond learner scores, interview, questionnaire, analysis, and observation, I will carefully check and evaluate it to find out the result. And in terms of the ethics, it's really important for a researcher to focus on this. First of all, see the informed consent. The researcher, I'm going to send to both learners and the management board to make sure that they are aware of the process of our research. And the deception is really important for the researcher to reveal to show the research process and all the related information truly to the participants and the related parties, so that it have maintained a good relationship of the involved ones. And last but certainly not least is the privacy and confidentiality. The Smith and Williamson claim that using pseudonym to keep the confidentiality for the participants, and also as well as the data collection. Okay, so the next slide is a conclusion. So here the research aimed at finding out light on both the belief of teachers and learners. And in terms of learners, the research also we had them to benefit from the teacher feedback in order to stimulate their learning accuracy, and they become more confident in learning. And we also hope that the mutual interaction between teachers and learner also improve. And also I hope that the learners will get involved in classroom activity more, and they are more anonymous in their learning. And in regard to the teachers, this research will help them believe in the direct written quality feedback, and will apply it in teaching writing skill for the first year students.